head of EURAXESS Ireland at the Irish Universities Association, and also she is the university lecturer with over 25 years.
This is what I actually advise to everybody who is coming to me. Stay positive, never give up. Take all opportunities which.
Yes, and about the postdoc, you mentioned that the scheme for the 2 years scheme for the they have to apply before coming to Ireland, yeah?
This is the thing which is taking 90% of the job. Next is.
Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on researcher mobility and immigration pathways in Europe. So I am delighted to introduce Dr. Magda Wislocka, head of EURAXESS Ireland at the Irish Universities Association, and also she is the university lecturer with over 25 years experience in plant ecology, environmental science, and immigration law. So, since 2 decades, Dr. Wislocka has overseen Ireland's scientific visa hosting agreement scheme, forged partnerships with the Department of Enterprise and INIS, and led Europe projects such as Top 3, Top 4, and the New Era Talent Pool platform. So, her expertise bridges academic research, policy, and hands-on visa support. So, making her the perfect guide for anyone seeking to live and work in Europe's vibrant research community. So, Dr. Wislocka, thank you for joining us. Let's dive in. And my first question is, can you begin by sharing your academic and professional journey? What inspired your move from plant ecology and environmental science into immigration law and policy support for researchers?
Yeah, lovely to see, maybe not to see, but to be part of this wonderful meeting today with many people on the other side. So yeah, that's a very interesting question. This is actually a question about my life and my choices on my professional journey. So I started my studies years ago in Poland, and I kind of continued the tradition in my family with the plant ecology and plant biology loads of time ago. And at that time, ecology wasn't a very popular topic. And most of my colleagues chose biotechnology and, more modern branches of science. And I decided to stay in the kind of traditional biology, being a part of the nature, plants, species, forests, meadows, lakes, etc. Because it seems to be very romantic to me, and I knew that this is a kind of a vocation. So I started my studies in Wrocław University. Then I continued with masters, finally with PhD, still in plant ecology, also radio ecology, so radionuclides and impact of them on the natural environment. And this is an interesting question, why I actually ended up in Ireland, what I'm doing here. So Poland is my country. When I was born, I had my family and my young kids. And Ireland was, in Europe, maybe it's not a big distance, but for me, it was quite a big jump from Poland to Ireland at the kind of end of Europe. And this was a career and my vision for future and ambitions. I was not alone. I had my husband, who is a musician, and we both wanted to progress. And we didn't find too many opportunities in our lovely city, in our lovely country, and decided to try something new. And it was a pure chance when my husband actually moved to Ireland as a musician. And I was very happy that it actually was a country of English-speaking country, the language which was kind of, familiar for me, and I felt very kind of comfortable in this language. So I just came, and to see what options I can have here, and it was actually purely, I don't know, something, accidental, because I met a lot of people in a very small period of time who helped me to actually pay for me the new career pathway in Ireland. So first, the key person was the director of the Botanic Gardens in Dublin when I started my first research project. Then was Professor Michael O'Connell, a botanist from University of Galway, where I actually moved immediately after finishing my project in the National Botanic Gardens. And the next person was a Brit Quilty professor in Dublin City University. It was a chain of people, key people in my life who just appeared. And I followed. I took this opportunity. I met them, and without too much thinking, I just followed. So it was a very interesting thing, and I took the choice. Choices. Whatever appeared on my way, I decided to follow, and it was miracle. Now, when I look back, I really value what happened there, and I will never forget the people who helped me here in this country. Now I am helping other people. I'm helping researchers like myself at various stages of careers in various branches of science and humanities, and a lot of other things. And I know how important is to be with these people very close, to accept them. And I actually very much enjoy assistance and helping because of my personal experience. So I don't think that the distance between my career and the things I'm doing now is very big. This is part of the same project, life project, the same journey. So technically, what I am doing and what I'm still I can continue to doing, because I'm still close to young people, teaching them, mentoring them in science, and also helping them with immigration, with finding their new home here in Ireland. This is very similar. Technically, this is just similar thing. Now, there's a very big gap between biology, ecology, plant science, and immigration law, and other, immigration guidelines, and these things are completely different. You cannot find any similarities. But if you speak about ecology, for example, for me, ecology is kind of, this is the science about everything. It connects loads of many branches of biology, chemistry, physics, biochemistry, plant, ecology, zoology, botany, and everything together, also geography. So I love ecology because it's a very holistic branch of science. And if you look at the person who is trying to find their way and career with families and people they love, their ambitions and plans, this is kind of ecology of a person. So for me, it's a lot of similarities. Obviously, there is a different vocabulary, and this is different knowledge and everything. But I when I jump from teaching to my office, when I am actually mentoring and assisting, there is not a very big difference. The difference is the matter, with the substance, when I teach ecology about, the principles of life, and then principles of establishing yourself in a new country. They're slightly different things, but it's like the same laboratory, So this is how I actually see it. Maybe this is me, because my nature is like that. I'm very positive, and this is what I actually advise to everybody who is coming to me: stay positive, never give up, take all opportunities which you see on your way in a very positive way. So I met a lot of people, and who helped me because I wanted them to be part of my life. If I rejected that, if I had doubts, I would be probably a different person. I would be maybe afraid, oh, I don't want to speak to that person. Maybe the person doesn't like me. I wasn't thinking that way. I was totally 100% positive, and I think this is something which is very helpful. And I see it now. Sometimes people come to me in desperate situations because they are losing their contracts. They don't know what to do next. And oh my God, what happens? My permission is coming to the end next week. I need to leave the country. I said, no, you never, but this is immigration law. I said, no, law is in the front of your judge. This is only regulations and guidelines. You always have rights to fight for yourself. Your permission is finishing. Go and talk to immigration. Put on the table your situation, and that you are desperately looking for a job. You have some interview. If you need some support letters, ask for them. There is always a chance. You always have a right to write to Minister of Justice. Everybody has that right. So fight for yourself. Don't be kind of a passive person overwhelmed with negativity which is around you. So I'm talking too much.
No, no, that's very nice and very inspiring. Your helping attitude and the positive attitude, definitely. And also, for example, about the immigration and researcher mobility, because from your experience since 2 decades, you can say, how has the scientific visa or hosting agreement scheme evolved in Ireland, and what makes it unique compared to other European research mobility frameworks?
So you are asking me about the hosting agreement scheme. So
Yeah.
it's a very exciting and another very inspiring thing and project which happened to me. While I was still a teacher in Dublin City University, my contract wasn't very satisfactory in terms of technicalities. So I had actually a lot of free time during holidays. And as I mentioned to you, I am never sitting and waiting. So I'm always actively looking. And there was an opportunity in my email. Oh, Irish Universities Association is looking for somebody who is familiar with universities and I looked at the project and at the job description and oh my God, this is me. So I went for that interview and I got this job. And the job was about actually starting the hosting agreement scheme in Ireland. I had no idea, absolutely no idea about immigration guidance, immigration law, nothing, only the practice, because I needed to move to this country from Poland with kids, with my dog and everything. Trying to find my way, schools, everything from the beginning, starting new life. So my practice was very good. I made a lot of mistakes on the way by coming through the fact that I didn't know the guidelines here in Ireland. And I ended up as a successful person because oh my God, I forgot about this. I never looked after my GNIB card, whatever. And then I had to manage this situation. So I knew that there's a way out. So I said, okay, they want this immigration hosting agreement scheme in Ireland. They are looking for a person who is will have skills to establish it. I might be a good person for this because I'm not afraid of making connections, asking. I don't know, and this is very good because I'm at a distance. I'm not involved in anything which can stop me from doing the things right. So this is completely wide, horizon before me. And I will see what I can do with it. I have two hands, my brain, and we'll see how I can actually establish it. And Ireland, I need to say, is a fantastic country. It's full of people who trust you and they don't discourage anybody. Maybe my boss that time, fantastic Dr. Conor O'Carroll, who he believed in me when he met me during the interview. Maybe he saw a potential in me. But I when I look at that situation now, I said, oh my God, would I trust that person like myself almost 20 years ago to do this very important thing in Ireland? So I started building connections with immigration, with human resources of all 7 universities. This is a very small country, so it helps. I started to build connection with work permit department in Ireland. I had few phones, I had few names on my table, and I had the credibility of a fantastic office, which was recognized. Irish University Association is a name. It's a very well established office. So this was my kind of bricks in my hands. So I started doing it from nothing. And the system has been built, intuitionally, kind of, with the help of many people, and it was a very big success. We started with what it is actually. This is Ireland decided to opt for the hosting agreement voluntarily. This is based on 2005 directive of European Commission. on the admission of third country researchers to Europe for the purpose of conducting scientific research. And Ireland was not in Schengen, still is not in Schengen zone. There is no free movement. If you go to Ireland, you have Irish visa. It's for Ireland only. You cannot use that visa to go to another countries like Portugal, for example, or Poland. You still need another Schengen visa. But Ireland decided, oh yeah, we need to do it because it's very, we need foreign minds and experts to sustain our economy and our research and science. So it was a voluntary decision, this hosting agreement. So this is admitting third country researchers to Ireland. It's super. Since the beginning of the scheme, I think we managed to welcome in Ireland over 17,000 researchers with their family members. The difference between this scheme and normal work permit, which is also in Ireland, operating in Ireland, is very big. So normal work permit costs money, takes a lot of time. It's not for everybody because the job needs to be advertised and the company or in university needs to make sure that there is no European person for this job first, and then they can offer the job to non-EU person. Hosting agreement is welcoming all non-EU people. There is absolutely, if the person is good for the job, for the project, can have a hosting agreement. And principal difference is that this is the university or a company which is actually issuing the permit. There is no third party involved. They issue it, and the role of EURAXESS and myself here is just approval and making sure everything is working and coordinated well. So that immigration system had no objections, because if it didn't work, something was abused or not working correctly, they would take decision to actually not disconnecting and not continuing the project. So it's very important everything is working well. So we have a system. The system is online. When I started this 18 years ago, I think, everything was by post. So hosting agreements were issued by universities and posted to the EURAXESS office. I had to put everything on my very primitive database kind of system to which nobody had access, with limited only fragmented information. And then just before the pandemics, another phenomenal thing which happened, because nobody even thought about things like pandemics, that the world will be closed and we will not have any chance to meet anybody. There was a person in the IUA who had everybody's, to upgrade everybody's job. And that person talked to me saying, your system is not efficient, Magda. You are doubling the work. People are putting something on the paper, then you are taking this from the paper into your system. It's nonsense. That, oh, it has to be this way. It works. It works. I was very defensive. I said, no, think about a system where people can only enter the details once. I said, oh yeah, but what then? And then you can still approve. And we started to build that system, which now exists since 2020. It's super, because all universities and all accredited institutions, I need to mention accreditation in a moment, what it means, have access to the system. So they create hosting agreements in the system. I see everything, I can read and approve, by pressing the button, and then, it can be printed and offered to the researcher. Researchers also have a little access to it. They have rights to enter their own details. So and I have everything, statistics, and the database is fantastic. So it makes sense, and also allows me to work efficiently, because I'm only one in EURAXESS at the moment. So every day I can process and approve agreements, because it's very quick. Otherwise, if it was with posts, it wouldn't be possible that way. So I mentioned this accreditation because it's not entirely hosting EURAXESS hosting agreement scheme. We are doing all technical job, but the system is under the protection and supervision of Department of Higher Further Education, Innovation and Science, DEFERIS, in Ireland. This is a kind of new department, and they supervise the system. And they also make sure that all institutions who are using the system are the right institutions, and they have kind of a license, which is accreditation. Everything is free. So all universities have the license, which is accreditation, institutes of technology, research conducting institutions, and loads of business institutions, in various, in pharmacology, in engineering, in IT. They also can use the system through accreditation. So the FERIS department needs to look at them and kind of make sure that they are conducting research, they have funding, and they give accreditation for 5 years, which is then renewed, can be renewed later. And it's all free. So the system is totally free. Nobody pays anything. The only cost which is there is immigration cost related to visas. People need to pay for their visas if they need them, and they need to pay their immigration fees in Ireland. Nobody is exempt unless there are circumstances. Some people are exempt, but hosting agreement researchers are generally not exempt. It's not a big money, but absolutely advantages are huge. So maybe you can ask me next question and I can talk more about it.
Very nice, very nice. That's good. And the next question, which I have in mind, it was the what are the biggest challenges faced by non-European researchers relocating to Ireland, and how does EURAXESS, this survey address this?
Yeah, thank you for that
Yeah.
question. So obviously, EURAXESS is part of big European Commission family. We are one of the offices. We have offices in loads of countries, or I think nearly 50 countries in Europe and also outside. And we are kind of unified by one mission of assisting researchers in various in many different ways. If you look at our website, we have kind of similar websites here. So what we do, including EURAXESS Ireland, so we actually assist people with careers. We have fantastic job website when you can find a job in research in various European countries, including Ireland. And we have practical information, immigration, job, immigration, and what else? It's housing, etc. And you are asking me about the challenges. So in Ireland, when I started that job, I had absolutely no idea, because I started from the scratch, what is the most important thing here and issue and thing to focus. And it was naturally evident from the very start that this is immigration. So evidently the office which understands immigration issues in Ireland didn't exist. There was a website, different authorities, but it was very difficult to actually manage to get the right information, to know what is my next step on the immigration journey, with permissions and to work, with permissions to stay, for researchers, for their spouses and family. So this is the thing which is taking 90% of the job. Next is advice about the jobs, and also the biggest challenge. So the biggest challenge is immigration, the right information. What is my next step? What should I do? The websites exist and they are full of information. Now we have ChatGPT. You can ask the question, how I get the visa? I'm a researcher in Ireland, what I can do. So ChatGPT is very good, because I sometimes ask this question to see how it works, and people will be Googling it. People will be asking ChatGPT. So I'm trying to find if this system is giving them at least right information. So it's getting better and better. But if it's about your scenario, your life scenario, it's sometimes not enough. You have a lot of things, and you kind of, oh my God, orientation, this is the way I should go. But it's not, people need tailored information for themselves. It's like talking to immigration lawyer, which I say, don't go there, because you will pay money and the person will sometimes give you the same information as we can give you for free. So this is the challenge, advising the correct person depending on the actual scenario, what I have, what I'm facing, what is my next step, what I can do. So this is challenging, and this is very successful, because we really, I would say we, because this is the office currently, this is only myself, but this is the whole system behind me, backing me up. So this is the challenge, making sure people are doing correct things in right time. Second, very frustrating challenge currently in Ireland is housing, and this is something I am absolutely hopeless, because it's a crisis. We don't have enough accommodation for everybody, and the prices are very high. So I cannot make prices cheaper. I cannot find accommodation for people who are asking me. But what I do, because almost every day I'm talking to somebody. Yesterday I had a conversation with a lady who is still in America, and she's coming with 3 children and her spouse to Maynooth University. So I advised her now, please start looking for your accommodation now. This is the time. And how? Obviously, talk to your university, ask them for guidelines, because they welcome loads of international researchers. So they will tell you what to do, which direction to go. And also start to ask to look for schools for your children now, because I faced the same situation. When I was relocating, somebody advised me, Magda, your children are coming in 6 months, but it's the time to look for the schools is now, not later, because this country is very small. This is Dublin. It's a lot of kids, and you need to find a place. So it's my advice is about the scenarios, and managing the things in time. This is what I can do. I cannot go and find somebody's house. I cannot go and find somebody's school, but I can say them how to do it. I give them strength and kind of awareness, inspiration, what to do. But this is actually a challenge. This is the very big challenge. And the next challenge, which is also related to immigration, is also frustrating, is the waiting time for visas for certain countries. Now it's hopeless. Many people from Iran are waiting a year or longer, and they are fantastic experts, and many people cancel because they cannot get visa in time. So this is really terrible, because sometimes it's possible to help and make things quicker, and sometimes it is absolutely impossible. So that's about the challenges.
Magda, one question, one challenge. One colleague, some colleagues from UK and also from like Germany, France, they are just got a university contract, for example, for 6 months in Ireland.
Yes.
No, the problem is, should they switch there, or is there any possibility for extension? Because this is the something can say uncertain. After 6 months, what they will do, and something like that.
So it depends on the nature of their contract, because in Ireland the immigration system is quite complicated. It's the permit depends on your work arrangement. So if you are talking about students, this is different. If you are talking about people working, employed
Post
researchers,
PhD, I am talking about post PhD workers. I mean, postdoc
PhD
or
workers,
something
so
like that. Yes.
PhD on hosting agreements.
Not PhD, after PhD. I mean, postdoc researchers, something like that.
Postdoc researchers in Ireland,
Yes.
all of them, absolutely all of them are employed. So,
Yeah.
students are, including PhD students are actually not, they are still considered students, they are on stipends, they are not contributing to the Irish social welfare system anywhere. So they are considered students, and they are in disadvantaged situation. But all postdocs are employed, including non-EU postdocs. And because non-EU postdocs need hosting agreements, they are all on hosting agreements. So if their contract is short, then the options they have is looking for extension. So pressing on your current employer to give you extension or to your current contract, or find another job on a hosting agreement. I tell you why it's important to be on a hosting agreement for another couple of months, because 21 months, this is the critical mass, the critical time for hosting agreement. After 21 months, people are free to work without any permit. So this is gate opener. This is very unique scheme offering that situation. For example, general work permit is not like that. You need to work 5 years to have the same rights of working without a permit. 25 months, so 21 months. So people need to be aware. And when they start their career as postdocs, they need to talk to their PIs and HR, explaining them, listen, duration of my contract is critical for me, is really critical, because it makes me free and my mind is free. I can work better and more efficient if my contract is longer. But sometimes this is impossible. So I always I advise people, if people are educated here and they are Irish postgrads, they have another option, which we call postgraduate scheme stamp 1G, which they can use for 2 years, meaning people can work 2 years without any permit. And during that time, they can find a job which qualifies them for hosting agreement or another work permit. So if the contract is short, I never advise people to use hosting agreements because they will not be able to come back to the postgrad situation. So if the contract finishes, they cannot utilize 1G visa. They need to continue with employment. So the only option after finishing your contract is finding another job, asking immigration for extension to your current permission to buy you more time, or eventually, if this is not successful, you will need to leave the country, but it's not immediate. It's not immediate. It's always a chance. So that this is the a reality.
Yes, yes. And about the postdoc, you mentioned that the scheme for the 2 years scheme for the they have to apply before coming to Ireland, yeah?
For what? Can you say again?
You mentioned one scheme for the postdoc research as one scheme, which is a 2 year scheme, I think. So you mentioned about that, and
I mentioned all postdocs are on hosting agreements. All postdocs qualify for hosting agreements, and they can apply. If they are in Ireland, they apply in Ireland. Their employer applies. If they are outside Ireland, they apply from outside Ireland, and still their employer applies. So this is something everybody needs to understand. People need to have job first, job and research job, postdoc offer. And hosting agreement is secondary to it. If universities can see that this is a person from outside Europe, universities know that they must issue a permit, which is hosting agreement in addition to the contract, and they do it at the same time in the system, which this is which I approve the hosting agreements. So it can be from Ireland or from outside Ireland. We have other schemes also. That's why immigration is quite of challenging and complicated, but it's for different kind of scenarios. Employed researchers, if people on employment contract, avail of hosting agreements. If they have no employment contract but still want to do something in Ireland, research job, there are other schemes.
but Magda, one thing I want to clear. For example, the challenge I mentioned last time, that 6 month contract, for example, the
Yeah.
university will give a hosting agreement for 2 years, or the hosting agreement will also be for 6 months.
Oh, this is a very good question. So absolutely, hosting agreement is given for the duration of the contract. So if the job is for 6 months, hosting agreement will be for 6 months. The minimum is actually 91 days. So this is the logic consequence of immigration guidelines in Ireland, that it has to be 91 days, which is considered long-term residence. So from 91 days. So absolutely, this is the thing. This is the difference between general work permit, which is given in big leaps, like for 1 year, 2 years, etc. But here it's only for the duration of the contract. So 6 months contract, 6 months hosting agreement.
Very
Yeah.
nice. And Magda, our time is out, and we will finish it because there are many questions. Maybe I will come up with another session, I think so, because it was very inspiring, and you comprehensively you discuss each and every question, and that was very nice. And thank you very much, I think so, for a while for this time, and Magda, for this insightful session, and for sharing your remarkable journey across science, immigration, policy, and education. And thanks to our audience for staying engaged. And we hope this conversation inspired and informed your research and career aspiration. Thank you very much, and have a nice time.
Thank you. Thank you.